In the last video, we saw the very first problem. Therese wanted Frank to make better choices, but Frank thought that he was already doing fine. That is one of the hardest places for a caregiver to stand. You see the danger, you see the denial, and you see the fall coming. But the person you love keeps acting like you're overreacting. In this video, we're going deeper. Hi, I'm Suzanne Fasella. I'm a retired physician assistant and a healthcare advocate who teaches family caregivers how to go from emotional chaos to strong leadership in senior care. And you're going to have more confidence, less exhaustion, more time, and the right resources. So once I sat down with Frank, I realized this was not just a back injury. It was not just the pain. It was not just a bad decision. Frank was unraveling from several different directions at once. And when that happens, the caregiver can get overwhelmed fast because everything starts to blur together. So when I sat down with Frank, I was not looking at just a simple spine case, right? I was looking at a man unraveling from multiple directions at once. And here they are. He had lost 40 pounds. He was bent forward at nearly 45-degree angle when he walked. He limped badly. He would not use a cane or a walker. He wore a back brace that over his surgical cage, but could not even remember who had told him to wear it. His left leg was weak and numb, and he could only walk about 6 feet before he needed to sit down. And mentally, he was not tracking well at all. He was forgetting recent events. He was repeating questions. He was needing things explained over and over again. So now I had to ask a very important question. Was this alcohol-related dementia? Was it medication side effects from gabapentin, which causes cognitive decline? Was it the severe pain? Because that also causes or inhibits cognitive function. Or was it all three? This is the kind of thing we all get overwhelmed by. We don't know where to begin. Not because we do not care, but because everything starts blurring together. That's what senior care does to us. It blurs it all. There's pain, there's memory loss, there's falls, alcohol, there's weight loss, there's anemia, there's smoking, incontinence, both bladder and bowel incontinence due to the injury in his low back, living alone, no social life, driving when he shouldn't, multiple doctors that aren't speaking to each other, poor judgment on Frank's part, and layered on top of all of it, Frank had a personality disorder that made him incredibly hard to help. He still believed that he could fix himself and travel again in a few short months. Travel where? Oh, all over the country. Why not? If his doctor told him one thing, he would go online and look it up. And sure enough, he'd find something else to do, not what his doctor ordered. And if someone suggested limits, he found a reason they were wrong. He became angry. In his drunken state, he would say terrible accusations about other family members. And Therese, his sister, just didn't know how to handle it anymore. If reality threatened his self-image, he slipped into denial. And you were to blame. At any point, if he felt judged or corrected, he would ghost that person, and maybe for a lifetime. So I had to be very careful to support while moving around the conversation, diverting his attention and getting him to yes. And that is a new language that most family members have never had to use before. This is where caregiving leadership gets misunderstood. Leadership is not marching in and taking over someone's life. If I did that, I would have lost his trust. Leadership is learning how to hold the structure when the senior cannot hold it for themselves. That is why I did not begin by lecturing him. I did not tell him to stop drinking. I didn't tell him to stop smoking. I didn't argue with his fantasies. He was going to travel and just be great when he's walking, 45 degrees hunched over for 6 feet at a time. Instead, I worked to earn trust. I finally found a quiet, sober moment with Frank. And I used what I call my 2 roads conversation, which I use in my 12-week steady plan course. And I gave him these 2 roads of reality and told him what it looked like. And he told me that he wanted freedom. He wanted to travel again. He wanted the life he used to have. That may sound unrealistic, but it mattered that he was speaking to me. He was opening up. Because hope tells us what the person is still attached to. Remember that. And if we do not understand that, we cannot lead well. So I started where leadership really begins. I started gathering the facts. His urology history worried me. His testosterone treatment raised concerns. His PSA was elevated. He hated his pain specialist. His pain doctor had ordered an MRI, but Medicare had denied it as unnecessary. His doctor refused to go peer-to-peer to get it approved. Frank refused to go back. His severe anemia concerned me, probably due to his drinking. So all of that put together, what was I going to tell him? Especially when he decided to buy blood products off the internet to help with his iron. And he got mad at me when I explained that iron can cause stomach issues, and he already had incredible problems with his GI tract. When he canceled every other appointment that I made for him, I set up these appointments, I would just say, oh, okay, not a problem. And there it was, the perfect storm. A difficult senior inside a difficult system with a long road of recovery ahead, all denied. So now I had to do what I teach all my clients, patients, and even my students to do in my 12-week steady care plan. Prepare for appointments, become the family member who controls the conversation without making the patient or the doctor mad. Learning how to move through a fragmented medical system without getting emotionally flattened by it. And most importantly, I had to build my own confidence up. Being a PA and then being a family member for Therese and acting like she should are totally 2 different roles. So I had to think about Therese, his sister, as I was doing this. And then I had to show Frank how excited we were after each appointment. So we, both of us, could go on to the next one. Why are medical appointments so important, you ask? I got to take them to the doctor again. We're going to the doctor. Because in the end, when you get everyone on board, everyone on the same page, and everyone listening to you, there is overwhelming calmness. When you reach this point, you know that you and all the members of your medical teams are working with you. So no matter how much your Frank will do himself no favors, you know that you're doing a very fine job. And the relief you feel is absolutely incredible. It takes so much pressure off you. If you want to build this kind of steadier family system, I have a link in the description for my weekly newsletter. And you can also put your name on the wait list for my 12-week steady care plan. I don't take a lot of students at the time because I need to work with you individually. We need to figure out where the real conversation is and what the real problem is before we can customize a plan that's going to hold you for the rest of your caregiving days. So in the next video, I'm going to show you what happens when this actually shines through and what it looks like when we started going to these medical appointments, when I started going to them with Frank, and what one good appointment can look like and how it can bring relief, but also create a false sense that everything is finally fixed. You see, here's an idea. When too many problems are happening at once, don't argue about all of them. Start writing things down. List the symptoms, the falls, the medications, the doctor issues, the memory changes, the safety concerns. And when you see the facts on paper, the next step usually becomes clearer. Oftentimes, when you fix one, the others will fall into place. So if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with another caregiver. Sometimes hearing another family member's story helps us to see our own situation more clearly. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.